Hi, this is Brian. Welcome to our channel, and today we're going to share another gut-wrenching real crime story that will be disturbing for you. Give you a hard time believing that even this kind of brutality is possible by any human being. In 1996, a tragic event of serial killing unfolded around Pune, India, with a lifeless body of an 18-month-old baby which was discovered near an electric pole with bloodstains. This marked a recurring pattern of cruel murders involving missing children in the area over several years. Despite extensive efforts, the police struggled to uncover any leads for months. For 6 years, parents around Maharashtra used to be very frightened about children being stolen. Who knows whose child would be the next victim to such inhumane brutality? But to reach this point, we need to start from somewhere else, roughly 20 years back from 1996. Meet Anjana Bai, who grew up in a very poor family in Nasik, India. Since childhood, Anjana Bai had a mental disorder called kleptomania, which makes people have a strong urge to steal things, even if sometimes they don't need them or want to sell them. After stealing, they feel tense at first, but then feel relieved. Because Anjana's family was so poor, she started stealing things when she was very young to survive. As she got older, she realized that money is the only important thing that matters in this world, so she started stealing from bigger cities. Not much is known about Anjana Bai's parents, but it's said that she left them and started stealing to support herself. In 1972, she fell in love with a truck driver, and they moved to Pune. After having her first daughter, Renuka Shind, Anjana faced more difficulties as her husband left both of them one day. Living in Pune was very expensive for Anjana and her months-old daughter. Her eloped husband left nothing apart from a bike to her name. So again, she had to resort to stealing to make ends meet. Both Anjana and Renuka got involved in stealing just to survive in the costly city. Renuka was so young that she didn't even know her own name when she started stealing. Things started to get complicated for Anjana Bai, and making money turned into a hectic situation. So in 1974, Anjana Bai tied the knot with Mohan Gavit, a retired soldier, to give life a second chance. The following year, in 1975, they even had their daughter, Seema. However, by this point, Anjana had already caught the attention of the police due to her past crimes of stealing. The Pune police were actively looking for both Anjana and her daughter Renuka. As a result, Mohan became frustrated with both Anjana and Renuka and decided to leave them and marry someone else. Now, these three women, Anjana, Renuka, and Seema, turned to stealing prominently to survive. They also devised a plan for that. Anjana had been stealing since she was a child, and she passed on this skill to her daughter Renuka. Anjana thought that a mother with a small child would be less likely to be suspected while stealing. As Renuka grew up, Anjana started using Seema as her escape route. Renuka, becoming an adult, got married to a tailor in Pune, Kiran Shind. Despite her new life, the trio of mother and daughters continued their life of crime. In 1990, Renuka went to Chatushringi Temple in Pune with her newborn child. While standing in line and following the ritual, some people in the temple suddenly realized that their purses or wallets were missing. Seeing Renuka leaving in a hurry, eventually the temple-goers accused her of the theft. But to defend herself, Renuka cleverly put her child in front of her and told the accusers, "Look, my little one is scared because of your shouting at me. I swear on my child I haven't stole anything." People thought that a mother with a little kid couldn't be a thief because taking care of a child single-handedly itself is a difficult job. So everyone at the temple apologized to Renuka and let her go. But here's the twist. Renuka, along with her mom, Anjana Bai, and sister, Seema Gavit, had a sneaky plan for stealing. They always bring a child which would help them escape by diverting attention of the crowd. They got caught. This trick worked well from 1990 to 1996, even though they faced some close calls. Whenever someone tried to stop them, they'd push the child to create chaos and then escape. Sometimes people would think they were innocent and hand the child to them, giving them an easy way to run away. During this 6-year period, they managed to make 40 children disappear or killed them. These incidences happened in crowded places in Pune, Thane, Kalyan, Kalapur, and Nashik. They chose poor children because their disappearances were less likely to be reported to the police. Kiran Shin, Renuka's husband, was also rumored to be a part of it. The first child they took was from Kalhupur in July 1990. It was a baker's son. This little one was only 18 months old. Renuka decided to use him for their plans. They named him Santosh, brought him to Pune, and in 1991, they all went back to Kolhapur. They knew that in April, many rich people visit the Mahalakshmi temple for blessings. Anjana Bai held Santosh near a CD shop while Seema and Renuka went into the temple to steal. However, just a few minutes after the theft began, a family noticed Seema lifting a purse and caught her red-handed. The entire family cornered Seema. As everyone's attention was focused on her, Anjana Bai seized the opportunity. She dropped Santosh violently to the ground from her lap, and due to the fall, the child suffered several injuries. But the crowd was indifferent. Although some people gathered around Santosh, no one offered any help, apart from just watching. Taking advantage of the situation, Seema managed to escape from there. Meanwhile, it occurred to Anjana Bai, who also wanted to run away, that if someone took the child to the police and they discovered the plan, it would be a big problem for them. And what Anjana Bai did next is really gruesome, which you're not ready to hear at all. She took a rickshaw, went to Santosh, lifted him, and then bashed his head against the nearby electric pole several times brutally. After a few strikes, Santosh died, being fatally injured. To your surprise, it wasn't any isolated place. Rather, people witnessed everything. Some people were even watching while eating vada pav, but nobody intervened. After the murder, Anjana Bai took Santosh's body, boarded the rickshaw, and fled the scene. Whenever a baby wouldn't stop crying, they did something like this. Once they dipped a child's mouth in water, holding its body upside down by its legs till the crying stopped for good. After this incident, they kidnapped a 2.5-year-old girl for the same reason. When they got caught, instead of taking responsibility, they heartlessly tossed the child on the road to distract everyone. Just like before, the innocence of the child saved them from suspicion and they escaped the crime scene with the child. Meanwhile, the 2.5-year-old girl they hurt was crying a lot because of her injuries. This made the 3 women mad, so they found a quiet place, beat the child inhumanely, and left her in a bag. As they walked, they came across a movie theater on their way. Very surprisingly, the mom and her daughters decided to watch a movie and brought the lifeless body of the little girl in a bag with them into the cinema. They had a good time watching a movie for 3 hours. After that, they took the bag, went to the washroom of the cinema, and just left the bag there. The next day, a worker found the body in a bag in the bathroom. And when the police investigated, they discovered that a child's body with a head smashed against a wall. The body count kept going, but criminals often make mistakes because of their overconfidence or vengeance leading to their downfall. Remember Anjana Bai's second husband, Mohan Gavit? Previously, I had said that he left Anjana Bai and later married someone else, and her name was Pratibha. Mohit and Pratibha had 2 children, and one of them, Kranti, was 9 years old. In 1996, Anjana Bai kidnapped Kranti to take revenge on Mohit. Sadly, they killed her too, dumping her body in a sugarcane field near Pune. Pratibha reported her daughter's murder to the police on October 1, 1996. An investigation began when Kranti's body was found. Upon learning about the police investigation, 3 women, a mother and her daughters, went into hiding for 3 months. However, their attempt to avoid authorities ended when they were caught during an attempted kidnapping on November 19 that year. Despite their constant denial of involvement in child kidnapping and murders, many witnesses reported seeing them with children. When the police asked Kiran Shind about the crimes, the women kept quiet. Kieran, who was not involved in the crimes, decided to help the government. He agreed to be a witness and told the police that the three of them had killed a lot of children. After Kieran spoke, Ranuka and Seema also admitted to their crimes. The three women kidnapped and killed at least 42 children in different places, all under the age of 4, with some as young as 28 months to 10 months old. Police also found evidence for kidnapping 13 children and killing 5. The trio used the children to steal, abused them in many ways like tying their feet, hanging them, strangling them, and drowning them. Then they killed them in gruesome ways. The police found evidence in their homes, like clothes, from many victims and proof of the murders. The three women were charged with crimes in different places, and there was a lot of evidence and witnesses against them. These three women were just monsters in human shape. The three were arrested, but the main person, Anjana Bai, died before the trial due to her deteriorating health. Anjana Bai's daughters, Ranuka and Seema, faced trial. The police represented 156 pieces of evidence. On June 19, 2001, the court said they were guilty of kidnapping, but reduced the murder charges to 6 children. Ranuka could appeal, but Seema got a death sentence. Kieran Shin, Ranuka's husband and a government witness, got a clean sheet due to a lack of evidence against him. The sisters even appealed in the Mumbai High Court, but on September 30th, 2004, the High Court reconfirmed the death sentence and the Supreme Court agreed on August 31st, 2006. Since they couldn't get a better decision, the sisters asked the president to change the death sentence to life imprisonment. In 2014, President Pranab Mukherjee said no to Seema Gavit and Ranuka Shindel's request, keeping the death sentence. The sisters asked the Mumbai High Court again for help, and on January 18, 2022, the court changed their sentence to life in prison. Till date, the sisters, infamously known as the Kapoor serial killers, are now serving life sentences in Yerwanda Jail, Pune. Tell me what you think in the comments and let's have a good chat. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm Brian. To make sure you don't miss the exciting stories coming up, subscribe now.